It's Kevin here. Welcome to a video. So someone sent an essay into my group on Telegram, IELTS 9 PRO. If you haven't seen it before, if you've not been a member, links below if you're watching on YouTube. So I posted a topic, a recently discovered essay topic that I found on the internet. People who cause their own illnesses through unhealthy lifestyles and poor diets should have to pay more for healthcare. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this opinion? Okay, and this person sent me this essay to have a look at. Now, the problem is, as I mentioned in the group, is it misses the point. It's totally off topic. Now, if we take a look at the criteria, for example, and disclaimer, fair light use or whatever, I'll put a disclaimer up on the screen if I can be bothered to find one. Disclaimer, where's my disclaimer? Fair use. Yeah, I just popped. So, okay. Now, so, task response. Now, that's what we're going to have a look at. The reason why is because that's the first thing the first thing the examiners do, they count the number of words. They do the word count first. All right, is it more than 250? Okay, then they come to task response, which is how well have you answered the question, then how well is it structured, then vocab and grammar. So all parts of the prompt are, so we'll start at a 9, okay? All parts of a prompt are appropriately addressed and the question is fully explored. A clear, fully developed position is presented which directly answers the questions. Ideas are relevant, are fully extended and well supported. Okay, all parts of the prompt. You can see the ideas are not so well supported as we move down. Main ideas could be overly general, lack of precision, focus, etc. But all parts of the prompt, a position is presented that is directly relevant to the prompt. So let's have a look. So the question is talking about healthcare, right? Who should pay? So people who call, so right, you need to, before you even start, you need to spend at least 5 minutes analysing the question, the topic, and if you know what the topics are in advance, if you've done your research, that'll be a big help. But you need to think it through, do a bit of analysis. So we've got here, people who cause their own illnesses through unhealthy lifestyles and diets should have to pay. Why isn't this scrolling down? Okay, right, so people who cause their own illnesses, unhealthy lifestyles and poor diets should have to pay more for health care. So so what is this question actually asking? What's it talking about? Well, people who cause their own illnesses. So for example, if you are a smoker and you get lung conditions, you get cancer, you get asthma or whatever diseases smoking can cause, you can get heart conditions, the arteries and all that kind of stuff, right? So if you find yourself ill or sick and you have to, go to hospital, or if it's a private, or if you're in some country like America, say, where you have to pay, if you're responsible, so it's contrasting people who become ill through no fault of their own. So say a child gets cancer or some other scenario, it's not their fault. they haven't contributed to their being ill or sick. So like if you're an alcoholic and you get liver disease and you get that jaundice or whatever that disease is, then that's your fault, or it's partly your fault. So if you smoke, if you drink, if your diet's bad, if you eat junk food, a load of shit, you're obese because of eating junk food, and you don't do any exercise and you smoke and kind of drink, right? So if you're partly or largely responsible for your condition, should you have to pay more for that healthcare, as opposed to people who try and look after them themselves, they exercise, they eat good quality food, they don't smoke, drink, etc. So it's contrasting these two kind of people, yeah? So it's widely believed that healthcare costs now it says here it should be. So it should be more. Not it actually is. It should be. So that's slightly off there. This essay agrees. Okay. So I'm not going to go right through every single thing, but if we look at this this paragraph here, so it's asking, do you agree that fat, lazy people who have unhealthy lifestyles, should they have to pay more because they're partly responsible? Yes or no? But what this paragraph does here, there's nothing about paying, who should pay, right? So lifestyle is one factor, great control, it involves adequate exercising, making points to extra calories, in terms of mental health, blah, blah, blah. So what this paragraph essentially is talking about is why being healthy is a good thing. But that's not what you're being asked. It doesn't ask, is living a healthy lifestyle a good thing? Obviously, the answer's yes. So it doesn't say anything, and then you just got this little sentence at the end, therefore you end up paying less for health issues. Therefore, but how is that true? I mean, if you do all these things, work out and eat good stuff, presumably you should have less health issues. So why would you end up paying less? So you can see why, as I say, it doesn't really work with the topic. It's talking about why should people who contribute to their own condition, should they have to pay more than people who kind of don't? So we've got this paragraph here which is talking about being healthy is good, but it doesn't say anything about any payment or who should pay or anything else. Then you've got a second factor, you've got lifestyle, exercise, blah, blah, blah. And you've got here about most problems. So it says, so this paragraph says exercising, etc. is good. The second one says not eating a load of crap food is also good. Eating crap food is bad. But it doesn't address the issue of should people who contribute to their own illnesses, should they pay more than those who don't? Okay? It says are likely to pay less, but it's not asking are you likely to be less ill and therefore you will pay less. It's should people have to pay because they're responsible, right? So that's what I mean. This is not on topic. Okay, there's some interesting stuff here, some interesting points, but in terms of what we're talking about here, task response, it doesn't work because it's just not the topic. And if you do write an essay that's not on a topic, the examiners, there's nothing that they can do. Even if your grammar and vocab and cohesion are perfect, if you're off topic, if you've not addressed the basic question, then you're not going to get a very high task response score at all. Anyway, I hope that gives you some ideas and illustrates that particular point. Right then, I'll see you later. More videos coming this week, perhaps. If anybody wants to send me some writing, either for IELTS or for OET, in my Telegram groups, links below if you're watching on YouTube, I'll take a look at them. And any new material for making video is always welcome, of course. Okay, that's all I've got to say. I'll see you later.